Hello, everyone. I figured that I would stop the countdown timer a little bit more quickly because it's already 3 minutes after. And so you're probably here already waiting for me to start. So, welcome to my weekly live stream. I am Anne LaFollette, if you're new here, and I am a creative entrepreneur and a surface pattern designer. And here are some of my beautiful wrapping papers, and I have a whole bunch of my fabrics up here, and I'm wearing one of my fabrics as a blouse today. And we're going to jump right into a program I have called From Doodles to Dollars. And because I just started today what I call the Doodles to Dollars Coaching Week, which is you spend a week with me, you spend a half an hour a day with me over the course of a week, and I teach you how to take your doodles or your sketches, bring them into Adobe Illustrator, turn them into a repeating pattern so that you can actually sell your art on fabric or wrapping paper, or I've got a cute little mug right here. There's lots and lots of different opportunities for you to get your work out into the world. And so one of the things that I wanted to do was just talk to you a little bit about what a great opportunity it is. And I thought that's what we could do today. So one of the things I want to do is, I always like to make sure I've got everything ready. So hold on a second. Sometimes I have to kind of reposition things. And let's see, will this work? I guess this will probably work. These are not, I'll have to do it this way maybe. I have some slides, and so I was going to show you some of my slides, but I'm trying to sort of figure out what's the best way to be able to have you see them and also have me advance through them. So, but we're good to go. I've got it right now, so I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to talk to you about the From Doodles to Dollars Coaching Week and what it's all about. And the first thing I always like to do is I like to say, who is it for, right? And so it is for you if you have been creative your whole life and you love learning new things. It's also perfect for you if you've never considered yourself an artist, because I don't consider myself an artist with a capital A. But I do love to doodle and I do love to sketch, and my designs work really, really well on repeating patterns so that I can put them on clothing and also use them in quilts and put them on wrapping paper and a whole bunch of additional things. If you've always dreamed of putting your art on fabric or stationery products, then the From Doodles to Dollars Coaching Week is perfect for you. And maybe you want to start or grow your creative business and you need some additional support. And one of the great things about the Doodles Coaching Week is I take you step by step through how I got started. And the first skill you need to acquire is how do you actually create what's called a repeat. So let me just show you our Doodles journey, because it's kind of fun to always know where are we going, right? So if you decide you want to join us on the Doodles journey, what does that mean? So what that means is these are the lessons I'm going to teach you. Here, I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller. So the first lesson is what I'm doing right now. So I just wanted everybody to kind of be on the same page so you know if this is the right program for you to join. And Pauline will put the URL in the chat for you, but all you need to do to join us, because it started today, but the key lessons start tomorrow, which I'm going to walk you through in just a second. But just go to members.artwithanne.com/yes. YES, lowercase YES. So members.artwithanne.com/yes. And there is an E at the end of Anne. Because you can jump in, you'll get the replay of what I did earlier today, and then you won't miss any of the other lessons. So tomorrow is when we actually open up Adobe Illustrator and we do the sketch and import lesson that you can see me highlighting on screen right now. Then we move into image tracing and color. And what that means is we bring your doodles into Adobe Illustrator and we turn them into what's called vector artwork. And then we add color. I show you a bunch of different ways to add color. Then we take a break because the weekend happens between lessons 2 and 3. So this is Thursday, this is Friday. We take the weekend off so everybody can catch up because I want everybody to be in exactly the same place when we come back on Monday. So on Monday, you'll create your repeating pattern, and I walk you through that step by step by step. And then on Tuesday of next week, I'm going to cover the common mistakes that we all make in the beginning and how to fix them. And then I'm also going to talk to you the following day, which is Wednesday of next week. I'm going to tell you exactly the 7 different ways that you can make money from your art. And I'll also make an invitation in case you want to go deeper with me in my Academy program. So you may know me because you probably come to my Wednesday lives, but I am Anne LaFollette, and I'm an artist and a creative entrepreneur. And I've been teaching online now for over 7 years. And in particular, my favorite program that everybody raves about is From Doodles to Dollars, the coaching week, which we're doing right now. And if you want to join us, it's not too late. Just go to members.artwithanne.com/yes. So, one of my favorite quotes is from Julia Cameron, and it's "The capacity for delight is the gift of paying attention." So if you will just give me 10 more minutes, I'm going to cover what surface design is, what the opportunities are for you, and then I'll come on screen so I can answer any questions in case you want to join us. So surface design is the application of any piece of art, illustration, or pattern that you put on any kind of surface or substrate to make it more beautiful. And if you look around yourself right now, you're probably either wearing a piece of clothing that has a repeating pattern on it. For example, the blouse I'm wearing, but you might be wearing a scarf that has a repeating pattern on it, or a shirt that has a repeating pattern on it. You probably have tea towels hanging in your kitchen. Sometimes those are repeating patterns on them, and sometimes they're what's called spot graphics or just illustrations, which are also done many times in Adobe Illustrator. And then if you love to sew or quilt, then you probably have a stash of fabrics, and someone created the designs on those stashes. And you may have, like me, an endless supply of wrapping papers that you love to use for every occasion. And somebody made them, right? And so the key thing here is that someone made those designs, and that someone could be you. This is not even a complete list, but this is just to get your juices flowing. These are all of the different categories that you can actually sell your art in on a repeating pattern. Stationery, bedding, I've already talked about apparel. Jump around the list. Look, you can anything in the kids and baby nursery, right? A onesie that the baby's wearing. Maybe it's the curtains in the baby's nursery room. It's probably the quilt on the bedding that the baby has. Tons of pet items have repeating patterns on them, like the collar that you put on your dog, or if you have a cute little coat that your dog wears when it's cold. There's lots of packaging and accessories opportunities, and really the possibilities are endless. And one of the interesting things is that surface design has actually existed forever, since the beginning of times. It even predates this Japanese shibori print. This is a style that dates back to the 8th century, but there was even surface pattern designs before that, in Rome and in Venice and in a variety of different places. So it's been around forever. You may be most familiar with this beautiful decorative style of the 1800s that was really kind of started, and it was given a name, the decorative style, by William Morris. And he was best known for incredibly ornate and detailed and gorgeous, gorgeous repeating patterns. There's an example on the left that's just spectacular. And so it became very, very popular. And then, of course, there was a change in just the direction artistically of what people were doing with surface design in the 1960s. And this is a great example of that change because Mary Mecco created this very iconic design. And it's so iconic, it actually has its own name. It's called Unico. So the opportunities are really endless. And I just wanted to talk specifically about what do I mean by it giving you time, money, and location freedom. So I thought I'd give you some examples from students of mine. So Maggie Smith joined me a couple of years ago. She took Doodles first, and then she came into my Academy program. And the reason I'm using her as an example for location freedom is because she had to travel back and forth between the West Coast of the United States and Hawaii for a variety of reasons. And here's the thing. When you have a laptop and you have Adobe Illustrator on your laptop, and then you have to go somewhere, you can take your work with you. And all you need is a sketchbook to sketch in, or you can absolutely sketch on your iPad. And then you bring that work into Illustrator, and I show you how to turn it into a repeating pattern. And you can see what she's been doing. She's been creating these beautiful designs that showcase her unique Native American sort of style. And she created Sherpa blankets out of her designs. So this is just a great example of, have laptop, can travel, and you can still continue to work or take a break, of course, but you can continue to work really from anywhere, which gives you so much flexibility. It's amazing. So then let's just talk a little bit about time freedom. I love to use Jane Foster as an example for this because she's loved to sew since she was 6. She came into Doodles several years ago, I think probably maybe right at the beginning of the pandemic. And then she also joined my Academy program to go even deeper. And she learned to create her own stash of fabrics with her unique designs on them. That's a picture of Jane. Those are her fabrics, right? Those are all of her fabrics. And here's the cool thing. She teaches in-person sewing workshops. And now she can expand the money that she makes because she makes money from teaching sewing in her workshops, her in-person workshops. But now she also has a stash of fabrics that have her designs on them that her students can buy if they decide those are actually fabrics they'd like to sew something with. So they can, of course, go to Britex or they can go to some other fabric store and buy whatever fabric they want. However, she also has the ability to sell them some of her own designs if it works for whatever project they're working on. So I think she's a great example. Also, the reason, actually, when I get excited, I start talking really fast. But the reason I put her under time is that she doesn't want to do it all the time, right? She doesn't want to teach she doesn't want to teach in person full time. I think she does it a couple times a week. And she also doesn't want to be on her computer creating new designs all the time because she's got a very full life. And I think we all have very, very full lives. And so we want to have the flexibility of doing this when we want to, but not having it take over our life, right? And so it's an amazing thing you can insert into your life on your own terms, which is what time freedom is all about. And then financial freedom, right? Who doesn't want to make a little bit more money, right? Wouldn't it be great to have an additional income stream, especially if you're either approaching retirement or you're already retired? And so, right? Extra income, anyone? Heck yes. So Regina Millard is a multi-passionate artist, and she's very inspired by her Caribbean heritage. And look at this lovely illustration on the left-hand side. I teach repeating patterns, how to create a repeat so that the design goes from left to right and top to bottom endlessly. But I also teach you how to do what's called spot graphics or illustrations with elements that were in your pattern. So it gives you so many different opportunities. And then that also expands your ability to sell your art. And that's what Regina is able to do. So it's another way for her to bring some income to support her family. So I would love for you to put in the comments, why might you want to see your artwork on real products, right? What could it make possible for you? And is this something that you might be interested in? So I'm going to come back on screen. So that you can pop into the comments and let me know, doesn't this sound amazing? And so we really get started tomorrow opening up Adobe Illustrator, and I'm going to have you show me your doodles so I can make sure they're not too complicated, because I always like to keep it really simple in the beginning. There are a lot of steps to creating a repeating pattern, and so I want to make sure everyone gets to the finish line. And so I'm going to break it down into baby steps, and if you haven't joined yet, I wanted to talk about it today because you can still grab your ticket at members.artwithann.com/yes. So let me go on back here and see whether or not there are, I don't even think I have my comments window open. So let me open it up and see the wonderful Pauline Riley, who has put it into the who has put the link into the chat for you, right? So it says members.artwithann.com/yes. And you definitely want to buy your ticket today because I'm going to close everything down by sometime in the late afternoon, probably around 8 p.m. tonight, Pacific time. I'm just going to shut it down so I don't have to worry about bringing anyone else into the program, because we really want to hit the ground running tomorrow with the first lesson, which takes place at 10 a.m. Pacific inside a private student-only Facebook group. So 10 a.m. Pacific is 1 p.m. Eastern. And of course, you get the replays during the Doodles coaching week. It's a limited time event, but you get the replays while we're in the coaching week. And so you also have the ability, if you're working full time, to participate and catch up in the evenings, which is what a lot of people will be doing. So I know I spoke really, really fast. When I get excited, I start talking really, really fast. And I think I did that in like record time because it's only 18 minutes after 12. But if you have any questions at all, you can pop them into the chat and I will be back to watch to see if anybody left any questions that I can answer. And that was the broadcast for today. So I appreciate you joining me for my live stream. We always come and talk about art, creativity, and surface pattern design. And so I am going to let you know that I'll be back next Wednesday. And I always like to say in closing that I am Ann LaFollette, and it's never too late to create. Bye for now, and I'll see you next week.